I would like to know, in one webinar you mentioned that you are taking care of your children in safari toy. You are trying to engage them in sports like work, or in other words, and how you are doing that work.
No, ask my children whom I'm starting the school for are sportsmen.
Okay.
So normally in a normal school, it is 80% academics, 20% co-curricular and extracurricular activities in a normal school. But my model is a total reverse model. It's 20% of only education and 80% of co-curricular extracurricular activities.
That's good. It's revised. But
Yes.
did you make any arrangement through co-curriculum activities? Will they gain the target of your academic objectives?
Yes. So that's the whole research about. That's the whole research about. And that's called alternate education. Alternate education
Right, right.
is very much prevalent in US and Australia and places like this. So that's the model right now I'm researching. And what happens, it is mostly based on
Yes.
concept development.
Thank you.
If the
Right,
child knows
right.
the concept, then you really see we end up wasting a lot of time teaching from the textbook. Right now, you really don't need to teach from the textbook. Otherwise, then why do you have a textbook?
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Then
right.
you don't need to
Because
have a textbook. The child has to be taught the concept, and the child can be self-directed, can be self-motivated to go and learn whatever's there in the textbook, and you can share whatever's available. There's a lot of information that is
Hello.
available online also.
Hello.
uh,
Ma'am,
in
please
our
join
country,
now.
I
Our
advocacy
program
in that
already
way.
start. Please join now.
If we can make a children able to write from his own, that's very important characteristics, because
Right.
a lot of vocabularies they did not care about, and even when they are just going to read any special subject, they need a very good or special vocabularies, and they
Right.
have to join the word in such a way that other people will able to understand what she or he might want to express, and this
Yes.
is really power. And other are not really power. Whenever I am just, okay, what are you doing, you are just moving your finger, so the children will write, he is moving his finger. Why this is possible to move the finger? Okay, let us think. Oh, there is a lot of joint. That's the reason it is moving. How can you compare with robot with this?
Right.
Maybe this is the way. If we can set our program in that way, children will play. Maybe inside the
Experiential learning. That's
home.
called experiential learning.
Right, experiential learning, that's also very important. And unfortunately in our country, almost in all third world, school has not enough facility to make a experiential learning. That's really a very bad situation. Still now the teacher are traditional, they are not want to come out from that box.
That's why teacher training has become very important now. Very important. Teacher training is very, very important because you don't need resources for experiential learning. You need a mindset for experiential
Please
learning.
Right,
join
right.
to them.
Yes, so we have to change the mindset of the teacher.
আচ্ছা জয়েন করলে
And
করতে
for
পারেন অনেকে জয়েন করছে তো
for for,
নেক্সট টাইম
for,
জয়েন
for
বেশি দিন
setting
আমরা প্রোগ্রাম শুরু করে
mind,
দিচ্ছি
we need a special program,
ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ
and we have to be motivate them in such a way when they will go back to the school, they will do all the work from their own. But unfortunately our training program are not supporting in that way. That's another big problem. Maybe some school, those who are very highly excellent, their teacher are motivated, they are doing work, but rest of the schools teacher are not really doing those work. They're thinking this is extra load, but they're not
Yeah. If
understanding
the
when
teacher
they will do.
training colleges, so the teacher training colleges train them in such a way that is so wherever you are, whatever atmosphere you're given, you will practice that.
Right, right. And by the way, the thing is that in our country, the schools number is not increasing, but the young children are really very interested to learn a lot of things. Unfortunately, no job scopes for them in the school. The teacher, those who are old and traditional, they usually thought, okay, after a few days I will go out, why should I do such kind of work? It is also related with the economical condition, social condition, political condition, and many more things.
Right.
Usually in third world, a teacher has a lot of children. To maintain their family, sometimes they might not be able to cover up all the areas. This is another big problem. Anyway, maybe some new guests are here. Welcome again, the new guest. So we are here and we will know each other. Mamata is really doing a very excellent work. She is doing a lot of homework to getting out the headline. This is really very hard work to determine what will be the headline for the discussion. Mamata, what is our headline for this? What is the topic? Oh, she mentioned that topic is the contribution of family and community education in realizing the goals of school education.
Goals of school education.
That's nice. What I and Shagorika was talking, really, this is very close to your subject matter. I think so. Anyway, again, I would like to welcome Marina. Marina, how are you?
Hello, nice to meet you, all of you.
Okay.
I'm Marina Kharitonashvili from Georgia, Tbilisi. I hope that you have heard about my country. It belongs to region of Caucasus and between Black Sea and Caspian Sea.
That's good.
Yeah, and I teach geography, and I'm very motivated teacher and always trying to improve my knowledge, and especially I improve my personal goals. And at my school, I have a principal of an ecotourist club. And also some years ago, I worked with tourists. And as you know, tourism is very actual in all countries nowadays. And I worked with my club students, and we are shooting some videos ourselves and share by YouTube channel, and to collaborate students and schools from another countries.
Oh,
and
that's
for example,
nice.
Yeah, and if any of you would like, we can work together and to do some Zoom meetings to collaborate with our students. We can prepare and share some information about our countries, and you will do the same. If it will be appropriate from you, you can contact. Yeah, and it really will be very interesting.
That's nice. Sound very nice, because collaboration and cooperation is one of the basic element for changing our ideas and our skills. So you are really doing very wonderful work. Yes, please.
Will I start formally?
Okay, Mamata, you take the floor and you start your meeting formally.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Welcome to our regular 4th round table session today, 23rd March 2021. I'm truly grateful because each of my programs makes your presence a success. I hope you are with me, still are, and will be in the future. My goal is to create a beautiful generation of us all and create some human resource suitable for the modern world. While this global epidemic, COVID-19, has lost so many human resources and time of travel, those of us who are still alive have found at least one global family. The topic of today's discussion is the contribution of family and community education in realizing the goals of school education. Today, you are with me as an invited guest. They are from join my home country and in different countries. Everybody, Assalamu alaikum. Now, we come to our main discussions. We'll try to discuss briefly again. Thanks everyone for being with me. Here I want to say a little before you main discuss. The family environment and the community environment has a very big role in supporting the achievement of educational programs in schools. Educational programs in schools cannot be achieved in they are not fully supported by families and communities. And second, the role of families in the process of achieving educational goals in schools can be seen from their participation in the assisting and motivating children in the learning, including the terms of financial support. The community participations in the supporting the achievement of the school's goals can be realized in the form of participations in carrying out community learning hours, maintaining schools safety, supporting various schools programs that are directly in the contact with the community. However, we will now listen to our invited negotiators, get to know them and try to apply them our own countries. At this stage, I will come to our new guest, Mrs. Indira Bhelo. Please.
Namaste, Walaikum Assalam.
First of all,
And
just you introduce yourself.
Good evening.
Uh,
My name is Indira, and I was an agriculture scientist once upon a time. And from there, I shifted to education through dance, because dance is my passion. I am a Bharatanatyam dancer.
Wow.
But I did not want to restrict myself to performing arts alone, because that is just like a lot of bouquets and claps and sometimes bricks and bats as well. And after every show, so there was no further scope for it. My what do you call it? As my growth as a performing artist, I felt it was very bound and it was very stereotypical. That's when I came across a lot of work being done through dance for children with special needs and children with learning disabilities. And so I tried to apply dance in learning different concepts. So frankly, for me, everything I connect to dance and vocabulary. So I had this typical habit of even learning the mathematical formulae, whether it be trigonometry or Pythagoras theorem, everything through dance.
Wow.
So the only thing I did was whatever I did in my school days as a student, I just applied it as a teacher to a lot of my students. And that's how I started my dance institute. And then I got into the K3 sector, because that is where we can actually detect children with disorders early and provide intervention. So although it began with dance as a teaching strategy, it slowly moved on, and I started taking up poetry, music, even things like, of course, drawing and painting was there. Apart from that, writing essays, everything came under this category of art integration. So a little before CBSE made this, our CBSE board in India, they made the art integration mandatory in schools. I was already doing it in schools. And I am still doing it. I teach chemistry to the higher grades. And yeah, a little bit of history and geography to specific children with special needs and all. That's about me. And just trying to stay normal by going a bit crazy. That's my endeavor.
Chemistry also through dance?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
So more than dance, it becomes more like a mono act. One very simple example I can give is about how an atom was discovered. So the atom itself is coming and narrating the story, dressed up as an atom and doing a mono act or a fancy dress, something of that sort. So all sorts of things we try to do.
That's very great. You are agriculturist scientist, as well as you are a very good performer in dance, and as well as you are interested in art. and you're focusing all your subject through performing art. And this is really very great. You are also working on
Thank you.
geography and okay. So really, you just think, if I want to say about your photosynthesis, okay, you can make a very good dance situation, how the trees are going to die, how the sun is rising, how the
Yes.
vehicles, okay,
What is the
carbon
first
dioxide,
thing that comes in, what is the first
right,
requirement in photosynthesis? Like first you need sunlight, and then
right,
comes in water. Then, the water being absorbed from the soil
soil,
and
yeah,
through the root and through the stem, and that water being, it's going up like through the stem and all. It can be a very nice visual treat, but more than that, here the objective is to teach the concept. So,
exactly. Before 20 years, I really did some sort of work in that way, and you can produce a problem in order to think in a high order level. Maybe
yes.
certainly you just change the mood of your dance in a wrong way, so the children will able to cope with, oh, you are doing something wrong. If there is a carbon dioxide, no growth of tree.
There's no growth.
What the Sagurika was telling, that she's trying to shifting her curriculum to do lot of activity inside the school or outside the school. Through that, they will know the concept, and they will add a lot of ideas within that concept. Thank you very much. You are a
Yeah.
talented girl,
Thank you.
undoubtedly true. Shagorika, am I right? Is she not a talented?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a very nice,
Absolutely,
beautiful.
absolutely.
We
Very
would
good.
really like to
Salute.
see a good demonstration. A good demonstration of how would you teach with dance would really be very interesting to
Yeah. So,
understand.
one more thing I would like to add is recently what I discovered is one of my children, one of my students, to learn the atomic structure, the structure of atom. What he did was he made something called as uttapam, which is a pancake ideally. And on
Right.
that, he put all different types of toppings. And he said, this uttapam is an atom. And all the toppings, they become the protons and electrons and everything. So, cooking became a beautiful art of
Obviously,
learning,
obviously.
And so I was very happy when I saw that, like they're taking it the next step. So that
So you
was
know
very
what
nice.
is that? Very simple.
That's coronavirus.
Coronavirus. So give an understanding if we
Coronaviride.
use,
And these are the pins
right,
in the ball. The pins in a
something
The
ball.
pins in the ball.
okay, but you can open up it and make out a DNA out of that, so you can tell
Yes.
them how the
In
corona
fact, I
is.
did this
So
for my MSc project. We
right,
had taken all different families of viruses using all tennis balls and small
nice.
thermocol balls and everything. We did the same thing, actually.
But
And it's
this is very
great
important
to learn
for
this.
us. This is very important for us to share our ideas with a huge amount of teachers, so we can learn from them, and they can able to produce something new by getting a lot of ideas. And I'm really very interested to know something from Marina. She is also very curious teacher. Whatever she told, that she wants to learn a lot from the people, and as well as to produce some new concept in the education field, so the children will able to echo with new ideas and thoughts. Thank you very much. Mamatas, please go with other people.
Thank you, sir. I have some question. I have raised some questions about the topic. So, Indira, please, to what extent can the family and community contributed to the strengthening of the ladder of quality education of students, and how effective is it in practice? Explain it briefly. Indira.
So, see, family plays a major factor when it comes to education.
Yes.
Because ideally, everything begins from the family. It is how the family thinks and what is it that the family exposes the child to. So, in my personal experience, as far as it is actually how the family thinks and how the family is molding the children. Okay. And so if you say that, if we are trying to give them a lot of exposure and restrict the children at the same time to their school curricular activities. So with a very personal example, I can say with the school curricular activities and things like that, then the child's way of thinking, it gets restricted in one way. Okay. But on the other hand, if the child is also along with the family, whatever work the family is doing, if we take the child also along with the work, then the child's exposure, it's the child's way of thinking, it gets widened. So one example I can give you is, for me, my mother is a physics and math teacher. So whenever
Wow.
she was teaching, she would, even at home when she's teaching, she would ensure that I'm not in the same room as my mother. Okay, she would give me some assignment work, like, go there, sit there and do it. Okay, so I would sit and do my assignment, but then my way of thinking was a bit restricted. On the other hand, with my children, they keep running all over the place. So, and also thanks to the pandemic, everything is online. So it is like a cyber zone. Our home is a cyber zone. So whatever I am teaching my students, my children are absorbing it. So now they are already into trying to explore what is an atom or what are the different alkanes and organic compounds and everything. So the moral of the story is we have to take the children along with us. The family has to take the children along and walk along the growth. Only then the children will grow and their thinking would get widened. It would not be narrowed and restricted to just the curriculum.
Right.
So that was my thought. I hope I could put it across properly.
Thank you, Indira, for your insightful and time-based discussion. Definitely will be benefited from your discussion. Thanks again. In this stage, I would like to Margaret. She is from Philippines. Please, are you there, Margaret?
Hi, good day to all of you. It's evening here in the Philippines, and it's like 10 o'clock in the evening. Apologies for joining you this late because I also came from another meeting with Central Europe there early morning as well.
It's okay.
So as regard topic for this evening's discussion, the family is always the first classroom, if I may say it that way, the first perfect and ideal classroom for a kid or for a child to start with, because the values of respect, the values of like honesty, love, all of this positive attributes to a kid or characteristic or of a child always begin from the home, and that emanates from the parents, especially that of the mother. This year or at this point in March, around the world, we celebrate Women's Month. And if I may highlight the women's contribution for peace, for education, as well as for economics and for security, among other things. But in the school, the school's role is only to reinforce the basic learnings that have been acquired by the child at home, like going to the first years in kindergarten, the first grade and up. If you notice, if most of us here is a mom and the rest of you ladies here are mothers, to me, I don't have kids, but I have seen this with all families, not only here in the Philippines, but around the world, that indeed, if the family is safe for learning, if the family is conducive for learning, and parents would give them that space, that learning space, one step at a time, eventually we will be producing children or citizens of the world who embodies the characteristics that we want them to be. Like we in schools here in the Philippines, there's so much effort being put into our good manners and right conduct subjects like that in Japan. Also, in the higher grades, there is an inclusion of peace education in the curriculum, both in the senior high school up to the tertiary level. And these courses, or this part of their part and parcel of their education program, actually the main objective is for them to acquire that full understanding of what peace should be, and imbibing in them that kind of attitude towards working also for a peaceful community, and be citizens not only of the Philippines but of the world, who will really be responsible and will contribute for now. We talk of the sustainable development goals. Yes, they do have their share, but first and foremost, again, let me go back. The role of the family is crucial for all of these learnings that our students are into it these days. Thank you, and that's all for my sharing.
We need to request everyone, I think, wants to come on screen so that we can have a good picture together. Isn't it, Mumtaz?
Hello.
She requested to come on his screen. Everyone, if they just open their video, so
Video.
one beautiful picture might be taken.
Okay.
Sure,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, Polash.
Uh,
Would you able to come?
Yes,
Pala,
yes, sir.
Ekta,
And then let's say cheese
Mariana.
together. Cheese.
Nazmul Haq. Yeah, Polash is here. That's good. Polash is here.
I have
And-
already taken.
Yeah, all right.
I also.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
I have a
That's good.
question. I have a question. Just Margaret, please. If school-based educational programs are not supported by families and communities, how likely are they to
Oh.
succeed in quality education? If not, what to do? Explain briefly. Margaret, please.
Again, let me go back to what I said earlier. The family's role is really crucial. If the family fails, and at this point, it's the parents' role. If the parents fail to educate the very basic things in life, like respect for that matter, it's going to be difficult when they grow up. I am a psychologist myself, and I have seen this working on human development curriculum and all that when back in my graduate studies. It's the family's the family's impact on one's education of kids. It has a very big contribution for them to be really formed as good and responsible citizens. And if they fail, then we have more delinquent people, delinquent citizens, not only by the roadside, but maybe in every community. So again, we also, here in the Philippines, we have the Commission on Family Life. And also, I think in other parts of the world, like in Rome, where I stayed for like around 7 years during my education days, you could see that everything that fails, it's not only because the family failed to help or to educate the girl or the boy, but actually it's as well the community. But if the community is good, that's also true that families are good. That's why at this point in time, the world is working so hard for us to again reimagine what education should really be. It's not only at this time of the pandemic, but even beyond the pandemic, even beyond coronavirus. We really need to look back and see what's going on and what families should be doing. And one way is the government should support the establishment, if there's none yet, of a family, of an office that would take care, or a department who would take care and promote the value of a good and what a family should be. Like what I mentioned earlier, we have the Commission on Family Life that caters to the strengthening not only of family bonding, but also values of a family, or what a family should be. So if we fail, like mothers, fathers, if they fail, of course, we know the consequences of the child when he or she grows up.
Mariana, are you there? Please.
Yes, I'm
Just
here.
introduce yourself, and after introduce yourself, I will raise the questions. Please carry on.
I have talked about myself, but I can repeat because some words, Hector and Margarita, as I know, I did not see my presentation. Yes, I can talk some words about myself also. I am Marina from Georgia. I'm a teacher of geography. Also, I'm a teacher of science, and I have 44 years experience of my school experience as teacher. Also, I have a master's degree in geography. I have a PhD degree in computer science.
Wow.
Yes, and I also teach Polish language at university. I work as a lecturer. At school, I teach also subject science. It includes 5th and 6th grade. We are especially works at experiments we can do also in laboratory at school, also at home. And as I mentioned, I'm a principal at Ecotouristic Club at school. And during some years, I work with all my country. I have Zoom meetings with some in other regions of my countries where students prepare some videos, explanation about their city, about village, and so on. And then we share this information between different students from different cities. And also I can say some words about families and the meaning of the family and the role of family for students, yes? And as we know, for example, when we see at class and we look at our students, you see it's such kind of phrase that all of our students are a mirror of their parents, yes? And you see the main role of education and to rising educative students depends on the parents. And first of all, as I guess, and what I want to say that first of all, we have to be educated, and then our children will be educated also. Yes, that's all. And our next session, it depends on our new topic. I will try to speak about more new items and topics connected with my country and which I can share with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariana. I know that definitely you know that today's topic, the contribution of family and community education in realizing the goals of school. In this stage, I would like to the participation of the education administration and the role of the family in achieving the various goals of education can be noticed. My question here is, it is possible to exclude the community? If possible, how will it be? Please explain it briefly. I repeat the questions. Just the participation of the education administration and the role of the family in achieving the various goals of education can be noticed. In this stage, my question, it is possible to exclude the community. To exclude the community. If possible, how will it be? Please see briefly.
Yes, as I said, the role of a family is very important of our community, and when we think about education of our children. And for example, you see, I prefer always to talk with some examples. In our school, we have meetings with our parents, and together we speak with the students and with our community, and how can we solve such problems depending with maybe to study a subject or with some problems during the education. And we try to solve this problem together. And not only speaking like that, really, for example, if some student have some problem, we have some meetings, we maybe once a week, maybe once or twice a week, and we think what's happened, and for example, how we can help and how we can solve this problem. And I think that such kind of methods is more effective, because we have to talk really what's happened, and to help really to our students and to our society, to help our students to be educated in the future and to be very high educated in our society. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariana, for your important and fruitful discussions. We have know from your discussions how to importance community rules and community family rules for our quality education. Thank you again. In this stage, I would like to Sagorika. Sagorika ma'am, please. Sagorika ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm very much there. Yes.
Okay, just introduce.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Namaste. I'm Dr. Sagarika Roy Bhatia from India, from Mumbai, India. And I've been into the education field for last 24 years in a leadership position. And currently I'm researching. I'm researching on alternative teaching and learning methods for players. Not the mainstream children, but for players who are engaged with football, hockey, and tennis. Because in India, we really don't have any schools. We have all mainstream schools, as a result of which our children don't get an opportunity to participate in Olympics and games, Asian games and all, because there's not much scope for learning here. So that's what I'm working for right now. And I'm happy to be sharing this platform with eminent educationists here. And of course, I'm always available to collaborate. I have put in my number in chat, and we can all collaborate and really make this world a very better place. And thanks so much, Mumtaz, for having us on this platform. And also Mr. Shamsuddin, happy to connect with all of you. And we can really make the world a much, much better place if we all come together, keeping all our political boundaries away and coming together and discussing here in the interest of children, because children are the harbingers of change. Today, if the children are educated well, the world will be a better place. The world will be a peaceful place, for all of us. So let's all concentrate on bringing up children and working with them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sagorika. I have a question just to you. Is the urban community ahead of the remote area in achieving school education goals? If so, what do you think could be the reason for this? Please.
Yeah, see, obviously urban community is ahead of the rural community, doubtless, because of, resources, funds, infrastructure, and also exposure. So urban community doubtless is always ahead, but also rural community can, because I have seen rural India, schools in rural India really coming up. I have also been to Sri Lanka, and I have been to France, in places in France, Dubai, so it's not necessary that rural per se rural is going to stay behind. If the rural community wants, they are exposed to a lot of funds. They're exposed to a lot of funds, and the rural community, they also get a lot of not only funds but a lot of know-how from we people from the city. We people from tier 1 cities are always ready to help people in rural India or rural places. But the thing is that it is mismanagement of funds. Everywhere it is mismanagement of funds and lack of focus. They just like to harp with the fact that, okay, we are rural India. Our children are again going to get back to agriculture. They are again going to come back to the roots wherever they are. They are not going to grow. So I think that is a mindset. So if we change that particular mindset, resources really don't matter. Even without resources, people can go.
Yes.
Because very recently, a gentleman from rural India in Maharashtra was awarded by Infosys. So he belonged to rural India, and in rural India, he used very minimal, gadgets to use technology to teach the children, to expose the children to the world, to the outside world, to expose them. So it's not where there is a will, there is a way. So, but the only thing is that we educators, we are too complacent, as we were discussing with Mr. Shamsuddin. Teachers are very complacent. They don't want to get out of the comfort zone. They feel, okay, 2 years we just do this job and then we are going to retire. I think that mindset has to change, and we all have to be with this mindset. We need to move ahead so that the rural and the urban, the gap which is there right now with the rural and the urban, we can very well bridge the gap if we collaborate, as we are collaborating on this particular platform. So nothing is impossible. It's only just the mindset, I feel. Yeah.
Thank you,
That's
Sagarika.
good.
In this stage, I would like to Kundo Sinha, class. Kundo, are you there? Kundo Sinha, are you there? Hello.
Kunda is there, yeah.
She said to me,
Yes.
here,
Yes,
so facing
Yes.
issues. She's faced problem network. So in the Ekota ma'am, please. Ekota
Hello.
abroad. Ekota abroad. Hello.
Kunda is there. Kunda is there. Mamta
Okay.
Kunda is there.
Okay. Kundo, first of all, just you introduce yourself. Kundo.
Actually, here is continue raining in Nasik, so I am getting the problem of network issue. So it is disconnecting again and again. Sorry, yeah.
Thank it doesn't problem. First of all, welcome to joining our program. And with me in this stage, I would like to know to you how much can the community alone contribute to a student overall learning and achievement.
Yes.
If the community is not directly involved with the school, how will it help to keep this contribution?
Yes. Thank you, Momtaz. First of all, I am introducing myself. I am Kunda Bachchao Shinde from India, Maharashtra. I am a teacher in government school, Nasik Corporation School, and I am from 15 years in this field. And thank you, dear Momtaz and respected Shamsuddin sir, for this platform. Today's topic is very nice, the contribution of family and community education in realizing the goals of school. As we all know, according to a recent policy brief from the National Education Association, NEA, when schools and parents, families and communities work together to support learning, students tend to earn higher grades, attend schools more regularly, stay in school longer and enroll in a higher level of program. So in this field, some best practices related to family and community involvement in school is must. There are some best practices, I think, to give the to contribute of community in education and for goals of school. Some are create a welcoming school climate. Second one is provide families information related to child development and creating supportive learning environments. Another one, I think, strengthen families' knowledge and skills to support and extend their children's learning at home and in also community. And then how and what ways can parents and community leaders be involved in schools to improve school performance? For these community leaders should be creative new relationship between parents and families, and school have to take leadership in this, and for these schools can structure to facilitate parents and community involvement in these roles. The both family and community both are most important in realizing the goals of schools, and because of with the family and with parents and community, then schools can improve their school performance, and improvement in our students must be happen because of this community. Thank you so much, Mumtaz.
Thank you, Kundo, for your effectful and more insightful discussions. Thanks to join our as a negotiator. In this stage, I would like to Shamsuddin Talukdar, sir. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Sir, introduce yourself.
Okay.
Side by side, side by side, I have the questions. We know that learning is a two-way communication process. Learning is a two-way communication process. This learning is done by both teacher and students. If so, why are we giving so much importance to family, society, and community here? Explain it.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Shamsuddin. I'm working for 40 years. Before coming education, I was working in electric board. And then I just switched over to a project, a science education project of Bangladesh. And we started to build a building and science facilities. Thereby, I just did some work in a field level as a district education officer. Thereby, I just joined in teachers training college. Maybe in this year, so I'm going to retire. But I'm working by myself in several fields. I have a lot of interest in a lot of subjects. Government's Access to Information project, where we started our program before 8 years, and there we wanted to equip our teachers to fight in their classroom with articles like ICT instrument and other tangible instrument. And at the same time, I have interest on drama, music, art, science, and other things. And also I'm interested to learn the behavior of human being, how they're changing. And out of that, I had a lot of interest about religious or mindset and how should it going to cross with one another, how the people of the art thinking and what are their thinkings. Unnecessarily, we became afraid of by thinking more over religious. This is really very horrible. Why people are thinking too much? I don't know. Because you are here, you have to do some good work, finish your task. What will be in future? Why should we think too much about that? I don't know. Anyway, okay. Your question is very beautiful, Momotaz. And you're really organizing very good webinar where we are going to meet with many new friends every day and also with our old friends. Yes, I was in Philippines for a long time, and I studied in Philippines University anyway before maybe 30 years. But we started a program on ICT in Philippines University and how to make a documentary on education, especially. And before 30 or 35 years, it was really very difficult. It was very difficult because now we are getting a lot of softwares and other things. In that moment, we are just moving with a camera and just shooting. Editing was very difficult. Now children can do it very nicely. And at the same time, Dr. Shagorika is working in very good topic, how to involve children, those who are interested in sports, and how we have to educate them. In our school, we are very lucky. We have a sports division. They have the schools. where the children, those are interested for playing, they can admit it there. But this is very highly and tough competition because only one school is there, and they're doing very good. You know, because of that, our cricket players are now taking a very good position. And Sagarika, you are doing really very good work. You know, in Griffith University, Martin Bay College in maybe it's in Brisbane. I want to visit that school. In every Olympic, they got at least 2 medals. It's very wonderful. And I saw when the children are coming in the school, there's a girls' school. They just go to the swimming pool for half an hour. Then when they come back and they set their syllabus, and they have to exercise their syllabus in the field. For example, whenever we are moving to throw an arrow, what will be the angle and how it will go there? So they are going to connect with the mathematics or trigonometry with that, and they're getting that ideas. If a man want to drive from the sky, then what the area he will take in order to make a obstacle against the air. So they're doing a lot of experiment, like very funny experiment. They're just making a cloth and a straw, and they're putting an egg and going to sit down, and they're just throw a stopwatch. They're getting the reading, and thereby they will go for the research. In this way, they are connecting with their education and sports, and they're getting result already. This is very wonderful. And I watch a lot of their classes, and one very brilliant teacher, he wrote the chemistry physics books in Australia, and he's very enthusiastic. Still now I'm connected with him, and he's always thinking how the physics factors can be shown to our student when they are in the field. For example, when you are going to running, what will be the angle of your foot and how it will support you, what the gravity, how the force gravity have, and in what angle you have to move in order to reduce the hindrance of the air. Such kind of factors, they are just exercising. But Dr. Sagarika, you're really doing very excellent work. And if we can just make it available to our every school in a some sort, not totally, so the student will be more attracted. They will start to come to the school because they will get, oh, I want to do it. Yeah, Indira is doing really very good work. She's an agriculturist and really wonderful, and she's just coming out. And this is the barrier, how we are going to break it. Unfortunately, our colleagues are not understanding. That's another big problem. They're always criticizing, oh, she's the agriculturist, why she is going to take a part in a dance, why she's thinking like that. Maybe whenever I'm talking with any intelligent teacher or people, they're always blaming the people or the surrounding is not supporting us. So this platform is very important to inform that this is really a very good platform where we can convince our teachers and our educators and our parents. And the Mamata's question is very important, that why, what's the question, Mamata's? Would you please repeat? Hello, unmute yourself, Mamata's, unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. You are still now mute. Yes, now you.
Just we know that learning is a two-way communication process. This learning is done by both teacher and students. If so, why are giving so much importance to family, society, and community here? Please.
Okay, the answer is there. When the civilization was in starting point, maybe the evolution of human being, people learn by themselves from the environment, not from the school. Still now this is true, because we have to fight everyday life for surviving and for invention. But traditionally, especially in Pak Bharat subcontinent, they are emphasis more on school, because once there was a Guru Griha. Children went to their teacher's home. Teachers teach them a lot of things. After that, he suggested, "Oh, I just finished my course. You go another place." And it was really very important, because they are able to learn how the community people are working. Now in third world, the problem is that parents are too much busy. Even they have no time to talk with their teachers. In maximum school, when the teacher invite parents to make a dialogue with the teachers and the students, you will not get too much parents or many parents in a school. They just told, "Okay, I am busy, you just took over him." And still now the private tuition is going up and up in every country. Maybe in Western country, the name is not like us. But for example, Kumin is doing a very good work in USA, but still now this is a private level, not in a school level. That's another big problem. Every parent is thinking, "Oh, my children should learn a lot from the teacher, and he have to cram it, she have to gain a lot of marks in order to reach up to the highest level of the society." Though this is wrong, but they are making always pressure to them. And this is one reason why they're giving more emphasis to the institution, not the parents. But really, community is the source of knowledge. If we can able to make them to understand community, we have to shift our learning pattern. For example, right now, many schools are exercising on project-based learning. So they are going to the nature, they're going back to their parents, they're going to the professional, they are getting a lot of data and making their report. And at the same time, people are now thinking about the STEAM, better that math, science, and technology is very important. But the elements are not within the institution. It is just outside of the institution. You can think it is in a community. For example, in our district, we have a very good skill. The people know how to dyeing the cloths, and this is known as a khadi. Before 200 years, people were weaving their cloth by hands. So Spain and something like that. But unfortunately, it goes out. Muslim is one of the cloth which is very finest cloth. When 12 maybe it's 16 feet long cloth having a 5 feet maybe wide, and length is 16 feet. That fine cloth moves to through the ring of a finger, so fine. But right now we just lost the skill and other things. It is not anymore in here, but government is trying. My question is that if we can engage our children with the community, if the community people come out, then our children will learn automatically. They can gain a lot of ideas. And sometimes I ask to the officers, for example, maybe in my district there is a soil research office, or maybe agriculture office, or maybe a atomic energy center. And I told the director, "Why are you not having a department where the people can communicate with you?" Unfortunately, many office has no branches like that. So our teachers or head teacher or principal are not able to communicate with them in order to bring their children within that environment. So he will able to make a dream. Okay, in future I will do something like that. Unfortunately, we fail to make such kind of environment. But as I am a head of the soil institution, I am thinking my children will do more better and more better, but I am not helping other children. Why such kind of mentality is working within that people, I don't know. So we need to aware the community people what's the important. Maybe these are the reason why the community is not involving in education directly. Right now, if the young people like those who are reading in the university, maybe they are working for that. In my perspectives, I'm working with the Shams Study Zone. Maybe later on I will make another call for you, where we are making a lot of ideas and disseminated it to the children and the teacher. And funfully, how can we involve the community people in order to escalate our education program? And this way, but we cannot do it very directly right now. But COVID is really a very good situation where we are able to communicate with many peoples. But unfortunately, at the beginning, they were very interested. Right now, they lose their interest. Inshallah, maybe if the people around me, they are working for that, one day the community will come up to help our children. And if we fail to connect the children with the community, then our total education program will be collapsed. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity. Okay, please unmute yourself, Momtaz.
Thank you, Talukdar sir, for your insightful discussions. In fact, we learn a lot from this from the discussions of our negotiators. I believe that our teacher will surely benefit from those programs. Sir, in-depth discussions will definitely help in maintaining the quality of our education, especially I enriched myself. Thank you, Talukdar sir. In this stage,
Momtaz, I would like to add one thing.
Philippine, our great educator, government educator specialist.
Margaret Ballester.
Margaret already delivered her lecture. Margaret already delivered her lecture. Now, I would like to request you all that what the exercise you are doing, you have to publish it. Otherwise, for example, this is very wonderful that Indira is working very nicely, dance, science, and arts. So if she make a little video on that, how the dance is helping to understand the concept, how we can make some critical analysis through dance. Maybe, you know, in India especially, because in your religious, this have a very important role. And especially the Indian people are very capable, as because the children from very beginning, they allowed to make a dance in home for the purpose of religious. So still now they can move their hands and eyes and other things, and Kathak, a lot of things are there. In early age, I tried to make some dance, but from my family, it was really very hindrance. They were not allowed me to do dance. But I did many pantomime show in my university life. So this is really very good thing. Whenever you start with your class with the pantomime, the children will start to gaze, oh, what the teacher is going to do it. So their creativity and their productivity will increase automatically. We can get a lot of writings. That's very important. We have to give emphasis on writings. Dr. Shagorika maybe start to make a little program with the subject, how the sports is helping our children in order to accomplish our curriculum. And from Philippines, really it was wonderful. In Philippines, they were very advanced from the very beginning, but unfortunately, their ideas are not disseminated to the rural area. But in central Philippines, their university are very powerful. They have a very good resource. Still now, they're thinking from before 35 years, I saw that children are working with the mushroom in the school. They're cultivating and they're analyzing how this thing is coming. Even in every university and every institute, they have a very good press, and they're producing a lot of papers for the Philippines teachers. This is really very good opportunity for them. And their book distribution is really unique on earth. You know, many small islands that they're sending their books through helicopter before 3 months. And even I saw in volcanic situation, children were in the tent and teachers are helping them to learn a lot. Really, I congratulate the Filipino people. They are working hard, and their education system is right now giving more emphasis on ICT with that of the humanitarian ground, how the people will be soft as well as they will have to learn the technology. If I am not wrong, yes, please.
Margaret,
Okay,
Margaret maybe say something. Wants to.
Okay, I'm going to giving her a floor that she's really very good, and I would like to thank Marina, who is really working very nicely with his children, and she has a lot of experience in a lot of subjects. Still now, her basic subject is not computer, but at the last moment she finished her PhD from the computer science. Really wonderful. Okay, go on, Mamtaz, and you can allow Margaret to say something.
Please, Margaret.
Thank you, Mr. Dean, for recognizing what the Philippines has been doing years back or maybe a decade ago. But I would like to inform you that even at this point in time, that now it's the 21st century, we have universities even in the rural areas that can already compete globally. In fact, for rural areas, universities at the rural areas, they are now producing top-notch medical doctors, engineers, lawyers, of course, the teachers. In the Philippines, we do prepare our teachers for 4 years. It's a 4-year long course. And at the first half of that 4 years, they do have the experiential learning, which were in 10 years ago or during my time in the early 90s when I was in college. Experiential learning is done at the second semester of the last year of the course. So that means on the 4th year. But this time the curriculum has changed in 2015. This is for teachers, for the preparation of teachers. They now start the experiential learning in public schools and in private schools as early as in their second year, first semester, for them to see whether teaching is for them or not. Because we have come to realize as policymakers, by the way, I work with the Ministry of Education with basic education now, and but 5 years ago, I was with the Commission on Higher Education or the Ministry of Higher Education, where I worked for 13 years. And transferring to the basic education, it made me realize that there should really be a continuous bridging between the basic ed to that of the higher education, because what a higher education produce, we make use. Is a short way of saying their products as teachers are our teachers in the government schools and in the private schools. And it's like going back to the first part of the discussion earlier, the role of the family before the formal schooling. Dr. Segarica has mentioned and has emphasized the contribution of the families as well as Marina. And I think this is one thing, Mamtaz, I would suggest